I would like to invite on stage Amit sir, Amit Kale sir. He is AVP Global Logic. Second is Shyam Khakare sir. He is IT Director, Torna INC. And third is Ravi Deshmukh sir. He is CEO and MD, Bitsting IT Services Private Limited. So what we are going to do in this session is we are going to ask 2 to 3 questions which are trending questions in IT industry to these dignitaries, and would like to know their views on that. So before we start this session, I would like to welcome all the 3 dignitaries once again in the stage. Aniket, can we have the welcome? Welcome Shyam sir, again on the stage. Mandar sir, can we welcome Amit Kale sir? Welcome once again, Amit Kale sir. Yeah. And Aniket, can we welcome again Ravi Deshmukh sir? Welcome Ravi sir. Okay, I guess we can start this session. And the first question which I would like to ask, and which is very important currently going on in the IT industry, is work from office versus work from home. So that is, I guess, very interesting and hot topic going on currently in the IT industry. So would like to start with this topic with Shyam Khakare sir.
So basically, like everyone know right now, it's a new normal for work from home. So many things, like it has pro and cons as well. So like we talk about the pro first. Like everyone knows, like because of work from home, like you can get ample of time for yourself as for your family, and you can even focus and your productivity can increase. But at the same time, if it also there are many challenges like collaborating with new team because they don't know the culture of the company, how you work. It works well with your old employees, like developers who are associated with you for a long time. They know how you work and what kind of culture you have. But during the pandemic, like for 2 years, last 2 years, we doubled our strength. So based on my experience, I would say it's really challenging for me to collaborate the old and the new team. So that's my experience for work from home, and in short, I mean, and there are lot of things too I can say, but I think.
So, sir, so finally you support work from home or not?
No, basically, maybe fortunately, like 50% of the strength in Torna are female employees, and in 2 years they got benefited because most of them have a kid and they can take care of their older parents. So I prefer, but like see, being a product company, we have many things that are lined up, and being a technical director, I always expect that one should come, and once in a while at least hybrid model I can prefer, wherein you get a chance to talk with the team as well, and you can also manage your personal and life as well.
Thank you, Shamkar. Abid Kale sir, your view.
Yeah, I think pandemic has changed the way organizations work culture has evolved. In fact, it took, I would say, few years fast forward in terms of the organization culture, right? Specifically in IT, if you ask somebody before COVID, there is an important release going on, and there would be a lot of reluctance from a technology lead or architect or a manager that this critical product release can go in production without being together. And I think that has become myth now, right? So while there are so many advantages of working from home or work from anywhere, I think the hybrid is going to be a mainstream. And I think that's where it is from organization to organization, projects to projects within the organization, the hybrid composition may change, whether it is 50-50, 60-40, 30-30, depending upon the nature of the project or the products that respective teams are working. And I think another few things have changed in the organization culture. There are a lot of evolution in terms of the collaboration tools, a lot of empathy. It has gone beyond the slogan. All organizations we are talking about the mental health, well-being, more as a slogan, and now it has become a key matrix, right? So those things are evolving for better in terms of the culture. And I mean, if your question is very specific, hey, it is work from office or work from home or anywhere or hybrid, I think hybrid is going to stay long term, and yeah, there are a lot of advantages to it.
Thank you, Amit Kare, sir. Ravi, sir.
So, as I agree with both of my friends. So, hybrid is good, but here we need to understand, okay, how we learn. So, it is same for the people, okay, who are in the industry. If they feel they can learn faster, okay, when they are with other colleagues. So, probably that time, okay, they should more prefer, okay, to work within the teams. I'm not saying okay it is a work from office, because now there is a work clusters are also this one the new type of concepts. Okay, if there are the people, okay, 10 people working from Nagpur, they can have one small office, okay, adjacent to any other company. That is a work cluster. So it is more okay to learn from the others. That something is needed. Everybody, this one say any new say the new kid is there, they have to learn something about their say the language. Once they are in the group, okay, they learn faster. The exactly same works in the IT industry. So after certain maturity, they can keep on this one increasing the work from remote, work from home, but not necessarily it will be always this one work from home, because that something kills our spirit to learn, right? So it is a more like say the hybrid model, but it should be evolved as per the experience and the expertise of the people.
Thanks, Ravi, sir. Second question that I want to ask is like reskilling or cross-skilling, kind of. So, because nowadays the technologies are very evolving faster, they are very outlived as such, and the software engineer has to learn technology every couple of years. So, from that perspective, how would you like to see the cross-skilling of the resources out here?
So cross skilling, which is must. Okay, there is no just one shortcut for the cross skilling. Just I quote the example of Shashi sir. Okay, when he just one started a company, they wanted to just one build a certain team. They just one got the guys, okay, from Kanetkar sir and the industry. So what exactly is that? Okay, in a short span, they have to skill a person, okay, for the new technology, make them ready. So when the people say, oh, I'm a mechanical engineer, I'm not IT person, probably I do see that is not the problem, because IT is not something like education. We have to do it for many years. In a like say the credit, it is a type of say the credit system. 8 days you can learn one small skill. Maybe this one bigger skill you can learn in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So learning is something not difficult. Only this one we have to target it. I have to learn something A, tomorrow something is added there. I have to learn B, okay, in a short span. So probably making it as a just oh it takes time. Let's just one say at least start it. Okay, if you don't start, you cannot learn. So learning is a continual process. There is no stop. So we have to keep on reskilling, which actually required in the market. It is not like say something okay we are reading something not needed, which is needed, which is something like a projected, something coming into the market, that we have to keep on reskilling, which is more aligned to us. That something is very important, because we cannot completely divert from our domain suddenly, because it will take more time, right? So more aligned, okay, what we have targeted.
Thank you, sir. Amit, sir.
I think being in the field of technology, learning, especially whether we talk about reskilling, upskilling or cross-skilling, I think that's the only constant in technology. If we want to stay relevant, as well as our organization wants to stay relevant, it is very important. And being a technology guy or being a technocrat, we should feel proud about that, but we should not. The challenge I have seen, it starts when we became a possessive, hey, I am a proud iOS developer, or hey, I am a proud React guy, or something, right? I'll just take an example that we are debating this morning, right? So we were doing a lot of enterprise softwares on Java, .NET those days. And when we started mobility, Brew, J2ME way back 20 years back in Nagpur, so people were very reluctant to move. They were like, "Hey, हमारे status से नीचे है, right? We work on Java, AJV, we don't want to work." And automatically when it picked up very well. But still we saw when Android, iOS came, people from Java were feeling like, "Hey, I don't want to work on Android. Java has got a different status." It changed later. Then the iOS people being reluctant to work on Android. They were feeling like iOS. Last 2 years, if we look at the iOS market from development perspective, has comparatively become not that popular, with hybrid and Android really taking a market share. And we started working on hybrid technology. So if we encourage somebody to learn Java scripting technology, Apache and other stuff related to scripting, they were feeling like, नहीं यार ये तो वेब डेवलपर टाइप का काम है, स्क्रिप्टिंग है, ये हमारे स्टेटस, वी आर अ प्रोग्रामर, दैट्स नॉट. And today you talk React JS, Angular JS, the scripting technology, the market is pretty hot, right? So it is emerging. So I should be good at the basics of the programming, and I should be willing to do that. And I think a lot of companies also have their own learning and development opportunities and training departments. And I see a lot of entrepreneur here. I also see that as one of the gaps. And that could be also one of the good venture. How do we enable, not all the companies can have their own learning and development department for continuous upskilling and cross-skilling. So there could be somebody who may explore, hey, how I can enable small and medium enterprises with these initiatives, and do that also from the industry academia initiative.
I do believe, upskilling and cross-skilling is very much required, and in fact it's already there. If you see from last 2 years, and if you most of the company owners are here, so they know when they create a CV, they want everything, a full stack developer, right? We want, like, if you see a resume, they want even like a data, basic SQL and Oracle with the UI technologies and all the things. So it's really confusing for a aspirant, but it's there because they are, full stack. Earlier we had that, as Amit said, like front end technologies and all. But like in Torna, I have already started this a long back, and like we have few developers who have started as a product support engineer, and now they are the data analyst in my company, in Torna. So it is required, but obviously the efforts has to be there, taken by both employers and employee as well, because giving a chance is also one thing. And it also helps us to retain the developers if you give them exposure. Otherwise they left you because they get bored with the same kind of work, and that's it, I guess. Yep.
Thanks, Sam sir. So anybody would like to ask question to our panelist out here? Yeah, Kishore sir.
Thank you, sir. Because what the presentation we have actually seen, the technology is coming very fast and growing at a very fast pace. As a academia, can we suggest some steps how we can take a step forward, and how we can pace up with the technology so that we can give us somewhat a skilling force to your organizations? Please suggest us some steps.
I think we are already doing those steps with some of the colleges. For example, we have a formal mechanism of memorandum of understanding, and we have a complete 1 year long program. And there are some autonomous colleges where we have an opportunity to also insert the curriculum in your 6th and 7th semester. There is an industry curriculum that we do, right? So those are some of the steps that we can do. Another thing, I think in CSIT, in most of the colleges, 8th semester is about the industry training, right? And if you look at, for everybody, those who are into the IT services company, right, they would expect when the person joins on day one, even if he or she is a college pass out, how he or she can be build on the project, or basically how she can be productive, right? So if we could leverage those 6 months of internship program with the industry and collaborate and see what are the gaps, what the upskilling is required, and we do that and get some mechanism between that organization and the college, so the person becomes billable. There is a win-win situation. So you get your students to do the internship. Second, for the organizations, they don't have to invest in the student when he or she joins for 3 to 6 months to go through the training, right? The person is billable. I think those are some of the initiatives. Also, I've seen some more initiative. There is a strong government funding on the innovation and the entrepreneurship sale across at least all leading colleges in Nagpur has got that, right? So we can also help you to give you the real problems from the industry that we come across, right? And third thing could be all companies are having a lot of problems to solve, but they don't have really bandwidth, right? They'll be focusing on top 2 or 3. So what are those other areas of challenges? So you can get that list, curate it, and I would be happy to personally help at my personal level. I think those are some of the ways that we have seen successfully we have built up. And I think there is a luxury being in Nagpur. You have access to all 40 engineering colleges. It's so easy to commute and do that, right? Which is little difficult when it comes to the tier 1 cities. That's how I feel.
Thanks, Amit sir. I guess somebody raised their hand here. Who was raised? Okay, yes, sir.
I wanted to know your views on the moonlighting, because what happens that work from home is definitely going to lead to moonlighting, and the second is going to lead to the freelancing also. So I just want to hear your
So
views
maybe
on-
officially may not be able, but I can share what the personal
In the personal
opinion,
capacity,
personal
not in
opinion
the-
could
yes.
be, right? So ultimately it's up to the individual. As long as the person is ethical, the person is having a high integrity, he is not using the resources of his company where he is working for certain time, I think then it should be okay. As long as the integrity and ethics are high, right? The person is ensuring he is not sharing the code or anything from here or leveraging those credentials for something else, I think that should be okay.
which is coming more like say the compliance, probably will keep that side avoid. So now what service companies they does, okay, if say TCS is providing the services to some bank marketplace, they do have the fixed model that yeah, they are just say calculating the work in 7 days what the person will do in the sprint. Most of the say the professionals, they are smart enough to complete that work maybe in the 50% of the time, and then they get frustrated, okay, how to invest the time, because some may have the like say the what you call the pushing factors, that some work is there only, then they can just say keep satisfying their what you call the skills. So in such cases people do see, okay, how they can do the freelancing. So it is no harm, okay, doing the freelancing unless they complete whatever the assigned to them in their say the what you call story or their sprint. They complete it ethically, okay, with the highest quality of say the code delivery. Other part, okay, definitely that something is earning some extra money to them. They do just trace themselves, okay, as we do, okay, at house also. If we just want to do whole Sunday, okay, to do the work, we'll just say avoid, okay, investing time, okay, to the domestic worker. So exactly that something will definitely help. We should support, but I think it is more like ethical from the candidate, how they just say manage the work. They should not say their primary job, okay, to be unjustified. That's something if there, then it is always good.
Being a product company, when it's for services, as Amit and Ravi sir said, like it's up to the sincere developers, like if they can freelance, it's okay. But for a product company, the IP, I mean intellectual property, the code, if that is at the risk, then that's my concern basically, because that's the only thing that a product company has. And even if not all profiles, but like if there are few profiles who can provide services which does not affect any other thing, then it's okay for me as well. But most of the product company has a core developer team, so I would say not from that team, but like if someone wants to do that, I mean, and it doesn't affect any other thing of the company, then I'm
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shyam sir. Yeah, yeah, sir, please go ahead.
Sir, just I want to know that as you are the big giant in our industry, how you help a startup, or is there any open doors for the new startup for the mentorship to get a mentorship? from you guys, or to just have a good collaboration so the new emerging startup can also grow with, as you grow, as new emerging startup will also grow with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do a lot of pro bono mentorship to the startups in the region, and please feel free if you think is there any way we can support in that. And we also do share learnings, like in morning session you heard some pulse of wisdom by Shashi sir. So we keep doing that. And also we see there are some work, let's say if you are specialized in specific area, you showed AR VR, just take an example. And if I have an opportunity in AR VR and I need to deliver it quickly, so in those cases, on case-to-case basis, we do reach out as well. And then we also organize some hackathons for the startups and all. So we get to see what they can offer and then at appropriate opportunity engage them. So there are definitely ways to do that. Absolutely. And being in Nagpur, being such a small community, we should be absolutely feel free to reach out to each other, get connected on LinkedIn and ask for help. Right? That's how we should do for each of us, irrespective of our organization. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
So my question is a bit different. Actually, I'm not IT person. Means my background is mechanical. I'm just new into it. So my question is that it is in recent time we are seeing that non-IT persons are also making their presence in IT field, but earlier this was not the scene. So sir, basically what it is that many of the persons are there, they are not so good in coding. Means they are basically they are good, but when it comes to complex coding, in that ways they are lacking. So sir, how is opportunities for those people in IT?
I think I would partially disagree to you on your first statement. There are people who are from non-IT background. They are in IT like long 20 years back. I did CDAC 20 years back, and I remember half of my batch was non-IT, by the way. Just to share my experience. Another, there are lot many ways to get into IT or computer science, right? It is not necessarily you have to always do a writing job or a code job, right? IT has evolved, bit matured in last decade, right? So there are like positions like a product manager or a business analyst, somebody who coming from, let's say, manufacturing industry, brings wealth of experience in specific areas, right? Can still contribute. Let's say if I am a software company writing automotive or electric vehicle software, there would be a lot of value beyond programmer, the person who comes from the automotive industry as a SME. There could be some nice graphic designer or a user experience person, he and she also can contribute. So beyond programmer, there are a lot many key important positions one can always contribute in the software. That's what I think.
Thank you.
I think just he mentioned most of the things there. Okay, so just I'm sharing my experience. I have recruited the Bachelor of Arts people in the IT industry, at least 6 in last say the 1 year. So as the 80% of the IT job doesn't require the coding. Most of the now the tools, they are the block based tool. You have to just connect. As your company, okay, just in the like stats. So you are connecting, okay, the data with your tool. Doesn't require coding. It is configurations, know the blocks, just connecting the blocks. So out of this 80% jobs, okay, if you just want to take the 40%, absolutely it doesn't require the technology knowledge. It required the process knowledge, how the things work. We are lack of say the good the writers, that is content writers. People, okay, who are in the IT, they hate, okay, writing the manuals. They hate writing the project documents. We need people over there. We are, most of the people, okay, they are not good in the estimations, what to do. Probably we need people over there who are very good in the estimation. Not required, they should have any specific degree in commerce or something. They need the only logical mind. So anybody with any skills, they are very useful. Okay, so somewhere, okay, I was disagree. People are performing and non-performing. They are performing only in their skills. So best to just leverage their skills for the right job. That's the only responsible way to do it. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ravi sir.
Just to add to Amit sir's and Ravi sir's answer, like The CTO of Torna is a BE mechanical, and that is also like 20, I guess in 25 years, yeah. So Amit sir worked with him in ADCC, and he is a mechanical engineer by profession, and now he entirely built his own career in data and related stuff. So you can imagine, like, and even I did, I was actually a student of ICC, and did my graduation in electronics, and now did my CDAC from 17 years back, and then I moved to IT again. So it's just a matter of thing, like you need to take efforts, and most of the there are see, every time everyone thinks that the programming language, and they have very specific profile, like most of the aspirants go for like QA, software engineer, tester, but you won't believe there are very much requirement in IT industry for mathematics guy, if BSc in mathematics, statistics, now data science, if you see, for NLP and everything, there are a lot of opportunities are there, and we are not getting that resources in Nagpur as so again, then even if someone has a writing skills, so for writing a content, a technical content, documentation, there are a lot of things that are required apart from development. So IT industry has like 40% of the work that is not related to the coding. So this is what my experience is.
Correct. Amit sir, could you please tell me that how to make the youngsters more focused? Because nowadays we are getting people or the employees in the thok volume, you may say, but normally while interviewing, while getting digging more into them, finding that they are less knowledgeable or less communicative, or even less mathematical, you may say sometimes, while you would be asking to, okay, itna bhai itna kitna hua total अपन को cost देनी है, तो then they would be searching the calculators and all. So this is something where earlier we were defeating the computers, now computer is defeating our brain.
Okay.
Kindly highlight.
I heard you when you were presenting, and I see probably you are a pre-sales solutioning person, if I'm not wrong. Correct?
Pardon?
I'm your
from
primary
Lighthouse.
profile
Lighthouse.
is pre-sales solutioning, marketing, sales.
In fact, myself, Devesh Kumar Thakur, I'm one of the founder of IT company which was there in Delhi since last 20 years.
Correct. You said you moved from Delhi
True,
to Nagpur,
true,
right?
true,
And
true.
you work with customers, correct?
Obviously, yes.
Right.
While you are as acting as a MD, the guy told that the CEO has given the different theory of CEO.
No, there
So
was a
that
reason
way,
I was
obviously,
asking
yes.
a question. So when you approach a customer, you don't push your product to the customer, right?
True.
You also try to understand what problem customer is having, and then you try to give a solution. I think same approach we need to have with Gen Z. I mean, I can understand the way you have a criticism for them based on, because, for example, even when I was managing my mobile first time 20 years back, I was knowing my landline number, my parents' number. Eventually, I might not know my spouse secondary number as well. Correct? Because I was calling her primary number when we got engaged 15 years back, right? So that's how time had changed. So we have to understand what are the expectations Gen Z is having. What expectation freshers are having. They are, let me tell you, they are super talented. They are talented than what we were. They are smarter because they have got so much of exposure, right? The way you may look at your kid and you may feel, oh, they are so smarter at that age, we were not that smarter, right?
So
Only
that
thing, I'm coming to your point, please allow me. So that's how we have to look at what they are looking for. And probably we have to coach them. We don't have to prescribe them. I think there has to be a different methodology to engage Gen Z. And I think we have seen when we coach them rightfully, we keep them engaged high. We have to understand what they are looking for. For example, it is okay for you to not to get, pat on your back after doing a great work. Probably Gen Z may need pat on the back every alternate day. He or she may need to cheer up every alternate day. And for them, for us, probably the way we have grown up in culture, for us work was the only thing. For Gen Z, there might be 10 other things to do. He or she might equally want to do sports and other theater and others. So as an organization, how do we enable these things along with the work, coach them, set them a goal, after achieving every goal, give them pat on the back, set next goal. I think those are the ways we have seen, and we have seen a great productivity, by the way, by Gen Z by using this kind of the approach. Obviously, we have to leverage by the strength of the person. They might not be there. Comparing them with ourselves would be difficult. Having air conditioned when I started a career was a luxury. Today, probably if air conditioning is not working in the office, people may step out. For them, it is kind of a mandatory, hey, this is not the office where I should work, because they don't have even the basic air conditioning, right? So we have to also understand, accept them as well. I think with that approach, we have seen things work well, and it is a continuous learning. We were talking some time back, upskilling, cross-skilling, but it also has to be about people as well. Right now, generation changes every 5 or 6 years, not like decades. Sorry if the answer was long,
No,
but
that's
just
okay,
thought
that's
to share my experiences. Anything? Or anything maybe in the audience, there's such a large audience.
Exactly. Yeah. So Amit, as you mentioned, there must be few people, okay, in the audience. They can share their experience. Probably they do have already come across such situations, okay, in their career. But yeah, we have to just one get the work done from the right person. That something is we cannot force people to change, okay, but we can leverage their best skills. Right. Otherwise, we'll fail at the end and we'll be in the frustration. That's true. Definitely. So.
Sir, we can train them the technology. We can train them the official behavior. We can train them how to operate things. But we cannot train them the language and the mathematics, isn't it?
No, we can. You have to tell them why you are doing it. You cannot tell them, hey, you have to learn this language. You have to tell them why you are, how it will help them, how it will help them in their career growth. So you have to give them a larger picture, right? For us, it was like earlier, boss ne bola to yahi sahi hai. Correct? So that's not the scenario that will work with the world. We saw like Vedant Myanmar, maybe I heard you, right? So do you want to answer partially to him? How he was mentioning is the youngest audience, right, 20 years. So what do you expect from the organization?
Basically someone from the younger generation here, and what I've experienced working in not only just Indian organizations but some organization abroad like Germany and France. So the thing that I've observed in them is that they provide more of a family-like culture as compared to here, like flexible working hours. So there was actually a video that I watched recently on LinkedIn where there was some influencer, he shared that how differences were there from generation to generation. That earlier grandparents they worked in order to provide food for the family, and then there was next who wanted proper house and all, and then there's next generation, they are looking for culture where they are able to they are getting flexible work schedule and all. So these are something that makes an organization a good organization. But now when it comes to mathematical and all the development related stuff, so it's something like, as Amit sir mentioned, that why is one of the biggest thing that would solve this problem. It's like generating the curiosity in the people themselves, like not just that you need to be a boss, but to be a leader and sharing them, inspiring them onto every aspect, rather even sometimes having a non-technical conversations where you just share your experiences, because normally it happens that in working hours, manager he just pulls a Jira ticket, assigns it, the employee sees I've got a notification, starts working onto it. Things can be more into such a way that people can say, the manager can sit, can discuss out different strategies, and it shouldn't be like the software engineer, he worked onto something, then senior, it was passed on to the QA or onto the senior engineering role, and that person just puts up a few comments that do this and all. But rather the why, if the why is answered, that why this particular code should be done in this way, why this particular optimization will work, this is something that will actually generate curiosity, and that is the key to everything, because then this will bring the difference that a person, there's a thought that if you love your work, then you don't work anymore. That's something that I myself as well follow. So making people love their work is the only solution to this. Thank you. That's all I'm going to add.
So yeah.
Good morning all. First of all, I congratulate the event and all the industry people about the initiative of giving something back to their native. So my there are rather open-ended questions. First, taking the pick from Shashi sir's speech, he collaborated with Kanitkar sir for a batch of 25, and he assured the job at the start of their course. So, what all the industry people have to offer the academic institutes like this, means because there are hundreds of technologies, and we are also dealing with Gen Z sir right now. As a teacher, it's very difficult for making them sit in the class for 1 hour even without checking the mobile and message and texting. So it's becoming difficult for us. But the advantage in this is because after Corona, the people are very choosy. The students are very clear about their goals. They don't just want to be in the rat race, but they want to learn a particular technology and aim for a particular company. So what all the companies have to offer to the academic institute, like a specific skill set development during the internship period or the 8th semester, which we are completely dedicating, so that we'll be having a ready-made person, an industry-ready student for your company specifically, is my first open-ended question. And taking from Khakre sir's thought, there are 40% non-coding jobs in IT industry, and which can be directly offered to the core companies, the core branches. I hope half the industrialists here are non-computing engineers, mechanical, electrical, electronics. So why not we percolate this message clear to the core industries and let IT industry get penetrated to the core branches and tell the students that yes, we have something to offer for you also. You don't have to be bothered about you don't know coding or computers. We have several other things also to offer. So why something to offer to the core branches also, and specific skill set to be offered for computer branches also.
I'll take your first question, and it is partially not only the industry responsibility. I think you mentioned about the technology. Also partially we have to also see how as an academia I don't push it, right? So if I'm an academia and I had this challenge while talking to other two leading autonomous colleges in Nagpur, how does college, let's say there is any leading college in Nagpur, how they are, you look at their advertisement in the newspaper, do they talk about the industry? They talk about यार हमारे बंदे इस कॉलेज में इतने LPA पे select हुए, correct? So that's how colleges are also selling themselves. So they also have to change their mindset, right? How am I pushing my college, right? And then I say boss Amazon आ रहा है, इसका प्रिपरेशन करो यार, एक्सेंचर आ रहा है, सेल्सफोर्स पे आप यदि इफ यू आर डन अ ट्रेनिंग, there is a high probability you will get selected in Accenture. If Persistent in coming, then you do this, right? If Global Logic is coming, do this. So also we have to see it's not going to happen one way. So how do we also inculcate, maybe I'll not touch that, it's a larger topic, we'll partially address what my buddy was also mentioning. How do we inculcate those ethics and integrity right in the academia as well? Rather, are we in a subtle way pushing our students to go behind the packages only, right? So that is also we have to look into, dwell upon. By the way, this not, but partially it also goes there, right? Because I want to get a high package, then I feel AIML सीखना चाहिए, तो मैं Python ही पढ़ूंगा यार. ये subtle way में हमने बच्चों को second year में बताया ना, right? So rather how I inculcate importance of programming language, how he or she should be ready for open for upscaling, cross-scaling. I think those are the messaging we have to do, and academia also sound the same. Then I think partially it will get solved. It will not get fully solved. And second, obviously as academia, as I was mentioning, we typically work and give a calendar throughout for the year, right? So depending upon the focus area of that organization in that region, we can help academia to tell, hey, these are the areas of interest where we want to work, and these are the areas where we can give the internship, right? So, and same again, the second question I will have him address, but why are we reducing the other branches from our colleges? I know many colleges in Nagpur who have significantly reduced 70% other branches, and then they take pride कि यार अभी हमने digital tower बनाया, अभी हमने ये वाला बनाया, right? Because I work very closely with academia, right? So we have to change that. So it has to be a both way process. How we make them realize that, hey, why mechanical engineering is so important, why electrical electronics is so important. In fact, that's going to play a lot of role when we talk about IoT, when we talk about automotive. So it's both, we have to work jointly hand in hand.
That's my request to the industry, that please penetrate in the core branches and tell them that yes, you are also important. It's not only IT and computer branches.
In fact, this is slowly happening now. For example, if you go to VNIT, if I'm a small startup, I may not be able to afford VNIT CSIT guy because his basic expectation would be too high. Whereas same from VNIT, the mechanical person equally calibered would be ready to come, and now slowly I see penetration. I see large biggies also started, lot of drives for non-core IT. But we have to see together how we can do it. But also we have to see when we select non-core IT, we don't put essentially the person on IT. How we create those other opportunities as well. I think it would evolve over a period of time. Sorry about that for the long answer.
I guess Amit sir already answered this question. Like they have like we did this with YCC, because I am a student of YCC. So I visited and I have given my the list of the technologies that we work, and not only IT, in other department as well. So we have taken that initiative, but like in most of the industry, it depends on the product and the technology you worked on. So I know like mechanical engineers, and even like most of the power generation sector also requires a domain expert from that field. And even like a company like TCS doesn't have that resources for domain knowledge. So there is so as said, it should be there from the institutions as well, and we also need to take a effort in the non-IT branches as well.
Thank you for answer. And one more thing, I will say that most of the founder members who are seniors are alumni of ICC, Ramdev Baba. They are quite old college, we are comparatively younger. So we are also open for association, and the offerings can be given to us also.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess we can conclude this event. And you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So before I ask my question, I'd like to add that as Sir mentioned, that students today have a plan of what they have to do. It's like they have tried everything and they know what they want to go forward with. So what organizations can do is they can, there was one of my friend, he went on to a big organization from Nagpur, and he was more of a Python related guy, and whereas he was put into Salesforce, which is in Java side. So if we are able to give proper opportunities as per what their skills are, then people would have a self-interest into their role, is what I'd like to add. And coming to the next question, so when it comes to, I'm primarily from artificial intelligence side, so there was a recent trend that was happening about ChatGPT, in case you might have heard. So to those who don't know, ChatGPT is basically an AI which can write code. Like you can ask it to write anything, right from basic, create a whole pattern infrastructure to anything, and it will just write into a matter of seconds. Rather, not just that, but you can even ask for non-technical stuff as well. So with this being so much intelligent and growing at such a faster rate that it got 1 million users in just 5 days. So what do you think, how it will impact the IT industry?
Fast track many development, if it is really, if enterprises can really adopt it for a commercial purpose, just assume that, right? If it happens, I think everybody is evaluating, right, how it is. Is it going to be like Linux Foundation or how it is? And absolutely it will fast track and accelerate the related development, but that may also put some of the startups or other companies who are working in that area, right? But that's what digital disruption always happens, right? So obviously OpenAI looks to be very good. ChatGPT, the initial, everybody is evaluating right now, looks to be very promising. And yeah, if licensing terms are open, probably everybody will quickly adapt it. And also there could be opportunity for a lot of young startups. You can quickly write the adapters, plugins for custom adapters, plugins on the top of specific to the industry, and give a quick solutions.
Will it fasten layoffs as well? Will it fasten layoffs as well?
Not really, right? So look at, so everybody said ki boss IT aaya, layoff hoga, correct? Now imagine in IT the employment is only increasing, because with new technology there are other technologies adapting. Let's say those who are from testing, manual testing got replaced by automation testing. Did it remove any jobs? I don't think so, right? It helped people to upskill, cross-skill, correct? And layoffs, it's not because of somebody's, I would say, competence, right? It is also because of the challenges. But then we also are hungry. We want, bas mera bhi 5 lakh hai, mere ko 20 lakh ka job chahiye. Then I don't think, that time I am ready to take a risk, right? But then when I get that high risk job, I should understand that if something goes wrong, anything can happen. Am I ready for those consequences, right? It is also the person has to answer himself, correct? Then I should not be crying afterwards.
Thank you.
So I would like to conclude this event and thanks the panelists for their support.
Thank you.
Yeah.